The Eurasian steppe, vast, unforgiving, and home to nomadic tribes for centuries. From this brutal crucible emerged a force unlike any the world had seen, the Mongols. Unified under the iron will of Genghis Khan, these warriors were poised to unleash chaos on a scale rarely, if ever, witnessed. Forget borders on a map, the Mongols didn't recognize limits. They were driven by a hunger for conquest that seemed limitless. By the time the 13th century rolled around, their empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe. But this was no ragtag band of barbarians. The Mongol war machine was built on discipline, strategy, and an almost supernatural ability to wage war on horseback. Their reputation preceded them, ruthless, relentless, seemingly unstoppable. For those in the path of the Mongol horde, terror became a way of life, and that path inevitably led west. What drove the Mongols westward? It was a cocktail of ambition, economics, and maybe even a sense of destiny. Genghis Khan and later his successors saw no reason to stop expanding. Land meant power, and the Mongols craved both. Plus, the spoils of war were too tempting to resist. Rich cities in the Islamic world and Europe glittered in the distance, ripe for the taking. But there was more to it than simple greed. The Mongols had a story, they told themselves, a narrative of their own supremacy. They believed they were destined to rule the world, and in their minds, that meant crushing anyone who stood in their way. The rulers of Europe, comfortable in their castles, were about to get a crash course in Mongol ambition. The Mongol military was a marvel of its time, a brutal symphony of speed, skill, and sheer terror. Imagine tens of thousands of horsemen appearing on the horizon, a tidal wave of muscle and steel. Their tactics were designed to overwhelm and demoralize. The famed Mongol recurved bow could loose arrows with incredible accuracy and devastating power. They were masters of deception, using feigned retreats to draw enemies into deadly traps. But it wasn't just brute force. The Mongols were also incredibly adaptable. They incorporated captured technology into their arsenal, using gunpowder and siege weapons to devastating effect. And they were masters of logistics, able to keep their armies supplied even on long campaigns. Fear was their greatest weapon, and they wielded it with precision. The Mongol invasion of Europe began in the 1230s, and it sent shockwaves through the continent. Kingdoms that had stood for centuries crumbled before the Mongol onslaught. The Battle of Mohi in Hungary, 1241, was a prime example of Mongol military might. The Hungarian army, larger and better equipped, was utterly crushed. It seemed like nothing could stop them. But then, at the height of their power, something unexpected happened. The Mongol advance into Europe came to a sudden halt. The death of Genghis Khan in 1241 forced the Mongol leaders to return east to elect a new ruler. Europe had been spared, but the legacy of the Mongol invasion would linger. The Mongol invasion of the West was a pivotal moment in history. It reshaped political boundaries, instilled fear across two continents, and left an indelible mark on the collective memory of the world. The Mongols, those fierce warriors from the steppes, had shown the world a new kind of warfare, and in doing so changed the course of history.